Hi, my name is Jason Upchurch. My wife and I have lived in Deer Park for a little over 10 years. We have 5 children. I am a pastor at Redeemer Bible Church, just a little south of town, off of Wild Rose and Monroe. And I've been attending the city council meetings for about 5 years or so. And I'm excited to be here. For the last couple of years, I've kind of had the bug to maybe run for city council. And it just seemed like now was the right time to do that. And so I'm excited to represent our city on the city council.
And which position are you running for?
That's probably important. I am running for city council position number 1.
I'm Richard Scott. I am currently on city council in position number 3. Finishing up my first term and running for re-election for that same position. Lived in Deer Park since we bought our house almost 14 years ago. My wife and I have 3 kids, all boys. They are helping me practice patching drywall on a regular basis, and then they consume any groceries I bring into the house. So I'm running for re-election, and I've been very. It's been an honor to represent the residents, and I've been really appreciating all the support from everybody that I've talked with. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Hazel McGillivray. Please just call me Hazel. That is a long last name. That's why Hazel is the only thing you'll see on any of the signs. In order of priority, I am a Christian. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 2 kids, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. Amy got to have my daughter in her kindergarten class, so it was wonderful to see her. I'm also a musician and a business person in Deer Park. I've renovated houses for the last 5 years. I've taken 4 marginal houses and renovated them since the tree hit my house 5 years ago in the windstorm. I just recently had a new hip, so I'm retired from that, and I'm moving on to attempting to help renovate Deer Park. And I am running for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Hazel. And I've had a request in the back. It's hard for them to see you all up here, so maybe when you introduce yourself, stand, or if you haven't done so already, when you answer your question, we'll do it that way. When you answer your question, just feel free to.
Hey guys, my name is Billy Costello. I am the State Farm agent in town. Been the State Farm agent since 2018, going on 3 years now. My wife Amber and I have 3 kids. We've been married for 13 years now. Went to high school together. Love the city. I got 3 kids, 2 girls. Both want to be Miss Deer Park someday. My son wants to play baseball or video games. So we're just excited. I thought this was the right time to run. It's really cool to see so much participation right now. I know many years we've just had, nobody running against each other. So it's really cool to see some interest in our politics. So excited to run and appreciate your vote. Thanks.
I'm Mike Ashura. Running this year, I guess. Being as these guys are, it's a great thing to do to serve the community. But I'm a Walls currently. We're here in town. That's I'm always out and about. It's not used to the thing. I really don't have a great answer for all that. With all these things. I want to run. I want to do good for the community and just continue doing good things.
Yep, and maybe we'll have Billy, if you want to take that microphone. Yep, and then we'll have stuff, and the 3 on the end use that.
Been a resident of Deer Park for over 35 years. I have 4 years as a council member and 3 3/8 as a mayor. And I would like to be re-elected. I'm not done with the projects I want to do. I have 18 years of infrastructure experience, sewer water management experience. Also, I've done house framing for 4 years at high school, and I would like to vote. Thank you.
My name is Heather Newsom. I'm running for City Council position number 3. I've lived in Deer Park my entire life. My children are currently being raised in Deer Park. I ran the last time there was an election against Caleb. It was fantastic. Didn't win, so try again, because I still want to be involved, get involved in our city more.
All right, thank you, everybody. is our proprietary Mark 3 question randomizer, patent pending. Okay, so the first question is going to be for Jason. So Jason, public safety and law enforcement always seem to be top of mind for voters in our city and many other cities as well. What is your assessment of Deer Park's public safety situation, and what, if anything, needs to be done to address it?
Yeah, thank you. So this is my number one campaign issue. I think Deer Park needs a local law enforcement, local police department. Right now we pay the full package about $950,000 for 2 guys. That's all, for 2 guys. Chewelah pays $805,000 for 5. Colville pays $1.9 million for 12 and 8 volunteers. Prosser pays $1.9 million for 17 and a half full-time employees. We are not getting a good deal at all. We can get a whole police department constructed, put together for a fraction of what we're paying and get much better coverage. So I think we need a new local police department. I think safety is huge. We don't have a lot of crime here, high crime anyway, in terms of murders and rapes and those sort of things. But the things that people are complaining about, speeding, drag racing, property crime. I had $3,400 of a trailer and a riding lawnmower stolen just a few weeks ago. I reported a crime check. I never heard back from a deputy. People are concerned. They don't believe that we're actually being taken care of for even these smaller things. I talked to a police officer, he lives out in the golf course, and I asked him, what do you think about a local police department? He said, I would vote for one 100%. They drag race down my street. He's a traffic cop. He knows what our city needs. We need a local police department for safety and for cost effectiveness, 100%.
All right, thank you, Jason. Okay, the next question is for Heather. Heather, as an elected official, what issue or project will be your top priority and why?
Issue or project attempting to bring more businesses back into Deer Park. I remember even as a kid, the bowling alley was consistent. We did plenty of things there. I'm sure there was lots more before I even remember. But we have been losing businesses. We had 2 grocery stores. We have 1. We need to see what we can do to try and encourage them to bring their business to Deer Park. We are expanding. We are a good candidate for more businesses, more activities for families to do. We have the parks. They're great. What else do we have to offer families?
Thank you, Heather. Okay, this question is for Richie. The city of Deer Park is growing. What do you think of this growth, and how do you think the city should respond?
Yeah, the city is definitely growing. The whole area is growing, and that is really, really important. A couple of years ago, when they were building the new fire department, I was driving by with my kids, and my youngest looked at the new fire department they were building, and he goes, "Man, this is a nice town. I want to live here forever." And so thinking about the growth, I'm thinking about my son who wants to live here forever, and he's seeing that it's a nice town right now. It has a lot of that small town feel that we all talk about. And so as the city grows, I think it's important that we do what we can to maintain that small town feeling. And a lot of that is, law enforcement, keeping crime rates down like they are now, pretty reasonable, and let's do what we can to keep it that way. We have a lot of beautiful parks, and the town is, for the most part, very, very walkable. And so keeping a lot of these qualities that we cherish about Deer Park and protecting those as the city grows. We can't stop growth. We can't slow growth. We just kind of ride the wave as the whole area is continuing to grow. But we need to be intentional about the steps that we're taking to protect the small town feel.
Okay, this next question is going to be for Mayor Tim. Tim, if you had your way, and maybe if you had a magic wand, what would Deer Park look like in 10 years?
Right now, we have infrastructure to almost double in size. We are working on adding to our sewer treatment plant to help with this expansion. I really don't.
You can also, everybody can use their time to say whatever they would like as well, if they feel like they've answered the question. But. Okay, this question will be for Hazel. Hazel, can you tell us about a time when you had to compromise with others to achieve a goal?
I can tell you about a lot of times I had to compromise with others to achieve a goal. Like I said, I have been in home renovation for the last 5 years, and a home renovation is at least 75% compromising. Nothing ever goes exactly the way that you plan it or that you hope it will. You will end up going down into, opening up a wall and finding, oh, we have knob and tube wiring. Take it all down and start all over again. Or it'll be, Hazel, we'd like to do that, but we can't. We found this structural problem or that structural problem. Okay, well, what can we do? How can we compromise to get this done? So there's been an awful lot of compromise in just what I've done in the last 5 years. Before that, I worked at Murray Franklin Family of Companies on the other side of the state, where I was an admin assistant, and I worked with code compliance. So we would have to compromise with all the permits and the people who would inspect, the building inspectors, to compromise to get all of that done as well. So there's a lot of compromise that has to happen in every aspect of every job I think I've ever had, and I think almost anybody's had. I mean, I don't think anybody hasn't had some time to have to compromise with that. So since I do have a little bit of time, you said I could use a little bit of time, I'm also running on what I call economic renovation. Heather was mentioning that sort of thing. We've had an awful lot of businesses that have left. We have shrunk at the same time as that we're growing. So I also would like to encourage a lot of those businesses to take another look at Deer Park. We've changed. If you haven't done a study in the last 5 years, do another one. We're not the same place we were 5 years ago. After that, of course, we have to consider smart progress, where we don't lose our small town feel and what we love about living in this town. I would love to see this place look like some quaint, vital, vibrant community that people would just love to come to. I think something similar to Walla Walla. I mean, all they have in Walla Walla is wheat fields in the prison, and they're doing so much. We have so much more here, and we can do so much better. Thank you.
Okay, this question is for Mike. Mike, what major issues or challenges do you think face Deer Park in the next 5 years, and what would you plan to do to address them?
Well, the police department's probably going to be the major one of those that's going to keep coming up every year until either it gets built or not. So that would be long short. Sorry, that's okay. That would be the only real thing that seems like it's going to keep coming up. Fireworks are going to come up again every year or two because we're moving to outside of this don't know, those are the only things that I see coming up on a regular basis besides simple things, you know, the parking crosswalk better and things of that nature. That's only that.
All right. Okay, and the last of this round of questions is for Billy. Billy, what has been, or in this case, what part of being an elected official in Deer Park do you think will be the most challenging?
I think there's going to be a lot of challenges. I think one of the most challenging things is that you're not going to make everybody happy, and you just got to live with that. But I think, listening to people, talking to people, getting people's input, and doing the right thing with everybody's interest is the most important thing. And you're going to have some friends, you're not going to have some friends, just being smart and strategic with the things that we do as a councilman, the way we vote, the policies we create, the things we do to entice new businesses. There's many challenges. The biggest thing we talked about too is the police department. People say one of two ways. So everybody wants to increase law enforcement here. I'm 100% on that. My philosophy is that we increase our presence with the Spokane County Sheriff's Department. I just think that creating our own law enforcement is just kind of a money pit, as Chu was a Garza. And listen to Sheriff Ozzie talk about what it would cost for us to bring that here, our own police department. Just everything, the fuel, the training of a police officer, the current political climate we're in. I mean, being a police officer right now, it's hard to get anybody to want to do that. So just some of those challenges, law enforcement, bringing in new businesses are just a lot of challenges that we're going to have to face, and yeah.
Okay, so now I've got one question that you all will answer, and I will randomize, who gets it first. But the question will be, as an elected official, how do you plan to support the business community in Deer Park? You're at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, so you guys don't want to come. And the first person, Billy.
Obviously, first or last. Supporting our business community, I am a small business owner, right? Being a State Farm agent, there's a lot into it. I do all my own accounting, I hire my own employees, I train my own employees, I do payroll, I do all that stuff. And it's really challenging to have a business here. And everyone here, every single person that we ask, hey, what do you want in Deer Park? It's a grocery store. Obviously, we need a grocery store, right? Everybody knows that. It's good to have competition. I'm an insurance agent. We've got multiple insurance agents in town. I'd rather have us keep our money in town as to going into Spokane, spend our tax dollars here. And I think, way as a councilman, we really have no control what businesses come here, right? But we do have the ability to create the infrastructure, the policies needed to make it more enticing for businesses to come into town. And I think our partnership with the Chamber, better partnership with the Chamber, will allow us to help work together and bring in new businesses. And yeah, that's good.
Okay, Mike, I'll have you answer next. And just as a reminder, as an elected official, how do you plan to support the business community in Deer Park?
The same way I have already, I guess, is spending my money in town and trying to get people to do the same thing. I don't know, it's really, as council, there's not a whole lot you can do to decide spending your money here and telling the people to spend their money here. How you support the businesses here, honestly.
Okay, Mayor Tim, you be next. How do you plan to support the business community of Deer Park as an elected official?
Well, first of all, we shop locally. The grocery store, the handy stores, Primark, my insurance company is here in Deer Park. Not my car, though. That was in Spokane. But anyway, work with the chamber on this. We need to be a partnership. We don't need to be in bed, but we need a partnership in that. And we have an economic developer that we can share with you, the chamber. Joe Tortorelli, he's a good guy. Just basically support our local businesses.
Okay, next, Heather, I'll have you answer the same question as an elected official. How do you plan to support the business community in Deer Park?
So many options available that haven't already been said. Definitely continue shopping local and supporting the people in our town that have businesses. Try and have a good partnership with the chamber to entice other businesses to come in.
Okay, Jason, same question as elected official. How do you plan to support the business community in Deer Park?
Yeah, how many of you guys own a business in Deer Park, in the city? And how many of you who own a business live in the city and can vote in the city? Just a few, maybe half of those who raise their hand. One way that I think we can actually help local businesses is listen to those who are not residents of Deer Park and just get their feedback. They don't get a vote, but we can listen to their feedback. How can we help you? The other thing, I think actually there's a lot that we can do. So I was talking to Darren a couple of weeks ago, asked him what was on his Christmas list for Deer Park. Darren wants a ramp in front of his shop. Darren's concerned that his $3,000 ramp will turn into a $30,000 ramp by the time he pulls permits and gets all the other fees and everything taken care of. He's got to widen doors, he's got to have access to a bathroom, all because he wants a little ramp so that people can ride their bikes up. We can remove some of this red tape. We can remove some of the bureaucracy. We can custom tailor regulations, those sort of things that might help aid business without encumbering them with the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars that would maybe be required in order to do something like that. The other thing I think we could do is we could maybe readdress our permit fees. Did you know that in Deer Park, well, I was talking to a builder, he said the average permit fee for a particular house in Deer Park is over $3,500. That same exact permit in Spokane is $2,000. It's 75% higher. And you go, okay, well, you know, so what? That just hurts the builder. No, it doesn't. Who does it ultimately hurt? The homeowner who has to buy it. Did you know that for every $1,000 more that a house costs, it's 189 families that can't afford it? Every $1,000. So our permit structure is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of telling 220 families, yeah, you can't be here. Because it goes to the end. I think we can call businesses and ask. The one thing I ask everybody, I'm knocking on doors, I ask them, hey, what do you think about maybe having another grocery store here? 100% of the time, they want another grocery store. So, about 5 weeks ago, I called up Super One Foods. I asked for a manager. Asked that manager, who would I talk to about maybe getting a Super One Food here? He said, here's the CEO, Jeff Phillips, and he's Jeff Phillips, and here's his phone number.
And your time expired, it didn't for some reason.
I'm sorry. We call businesses and ask them to come.
Hazel, I'll ask you the same question. As an elected official, how do you plan to support the business community here in Deer Park?
Yes, well, a lot of things have been said here that are exactly accurate. One of the things that I actually mention all the time is ask the questions. Ask those questions. I've been going around to the businesses about 1.5 to 2 hours a day, which only gives me to 5 businesses because I like to talk. And I'm asking them, especially the ones that cannot vote in this city and cannot vote for me. They tell me the first thing they say is, I can't vote for you. I'm like, great, then I want to talk to you because I want to know what your issues are. I want to know what your concerns are, your hopes, dreams, aspirations. You succeed, we succeed. So, I mean, that's 100%. I'm all about asking the questions. Also about encouraging. encouraging, asking the questions and calling up businesses and amenities and commercial enterprises that we're interested in having come here. Asking them, have you considered it? What information can we give you? Can we give you traffic pattern information? Can we give you population studies? What can we do to make it more attractive to come here? But also at the same time help maintain those businesses that we have. Definitely shopping here as well. Facilitating people to get through our permit processes, going through some of those permit processes, zoning processes. I've been reading the comprehensive plan, and our zoning is not easy. Every single lot in my neighborhood is a different zone. So what I can do on my house, my neighbor can't do on theirs. So there's an awful lot of things that I think we need to streamline, we need to look at, we need to be smart about all the progress that we're doing, and most of all, just ask the questions.
Okay, and last, Rich, I'll ask you the same question. What would you do to support the business community in your town?
There's a lot that can be done to support businesses. I think one of the biggest things that I personally can do is to communicate, whether that be to ask questions, but also to help point towards resources that are available, whether it be through the city or the school district or the fire district, or maybe potentially through a police district, if we ever have one. There's a lot of different resources that I can help connect business owners to. I want to listen, I want to hear what's going on in the city and find out what needs to be addressed. There's a lot of things that with technology that I think we can improve upon and make things easier to access, make processes quicker for business owners, whether it be building permits, business applications, all sorts of things along those lines. We can implement technology. Comes from, I guess, my background as a business owner, owning a technology business. I'm always looking for technology and how I can utilize that. So those are the main things, is communication. Attracting businesses to Deer Park, again, that's communication. There's a lot of information that businesses don't have about Deer Park. Part of it is because a lot of the stats that they use to decide where to go and build new businesses, a lot of them use deliverable mail addresses in Deer Park. The post office doesn't deliver to a lot of mail addresses, and so a lot of businesses, when they look at Deer Park, it looks like a big donut. There's nobody in Deer Park. There's this empty hole in the middle. So providing accurate statistics and numbers and data about what's going on in the city and how it's growing, and the people that are here in a small town feel and all that, that is going to help entice businesses like grocery stores and other entertainment. We used to have a movie theater in Deer Park. Other businesses like that to Deer Park and to grow our local economy.
Well, that brings to a close the portion where I had questions that we made for you folks. But I think we do have about 20 minutes left, roughly. So I did want to offer. I think all the candidates agreed that it'd be okay if we open questions from the floor, and maybe we'll just have like maybe a 1-minute limit on answers, and you can. Was there anybody who had any specific questions for the candidates? Yes, Caleb.
What do you see as the role of government in society?
I did put that in the envelope, by the way. It just wasn't get rid of the shows.
Government in Deer Park, since we're talking about Deer Park.
Yeah, or city government. What? I don't know if we want to run down the line, or if anybody has. Go ahead, Jason.
So according to our comprehensive plan and other documents, it's to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of our community. That's our role, and it's part of the preamble of the Constitution, actually. Can I just read you a little bit of the preamble? You guys know this. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That's the role of government.
Thank you, Jason. Anybody else want to take that one?
I agree with Jason. It's to look for the welfare and the safety of the residents. Another thing that I believe is that our jobs as elected officials is to prevent the overreach of government into business and residential lives, to allow as much freedom as possible to do what you want to do, to be able to have that pursuit of happiness.
Right down the line, I suppose. The preamble does say it very well. Of course, there's questions when that was a very broad one, and because different governments do have different roles. Ours as a city in America, a small city in America, should be to ensure the general welfare and safety of our inhabitants, our citizens. And it should also be to ensure the safety by actually building permits and making sure that everything we do is safe for the entire community.
I know, very simple here. I mean, it's to protect the people we represent. That's what government is, and act in the best interest of the people that we represent. Safety, number one, and create the policies and infrastructure needed.
And to continue to try and cut down the government we already have and to bring down less control, I guess. I don't know. Just more for the
Caleb, I agree with you. We do need to cut back on that. There are some things I don't agree with, but also we can't eliminate them all, or otherwise we're going to have anarchy. But there are some zoning laws that need to be changed. But you got to remember, you as council members voted those in. Okay? Understood? Thank you.
It's to listen to what the people we represent want and try and consider what is going to be best for them currently and in the near future.
All right. Well, are there any other questions? Yes, Shannon.
Two questions. One is just kind of a clarifying for your response to me probably about knowing what people want. I'm wondering, do we have sufficient, or do we have different plans for any, forgive my ignorance, first of all, I'll say that. But how do we get that information? What is the platform and or the venue for those people to speak about those kinds of things? Anything. Like, I don't know what that is. Is that always only ever at city council meetings? Probably.
So if I could distill the question, and forgive me if I get it wrong. So it sounds like there was a lot of talk from really everyone about better communication between citizens, businesses, things like that. And there are city council meetings, of course, but what would be the best ways for us to communicate with you as candidates and as elected officials?
Yes, thank you. Perfect.
I definitely encourage more people to come to the city council meetings. You have a right to be heard. Outside of that, talk. I mean, the elected officials need to be out talking to the community, hearing their opinions. Why is people's email address not more accessible to be able to email them questions, to be able to tell them what you would like to hear? I mean, they are your elected official. They represent you. Phone numbers, I mean, maybe not so much that far. I don't want messages and phone calls at midnight. But definitely email, come to the city council meetings, go out and talk to the other people in the city that you live and represent.
On that, also, we have our in-person council meetings we just started last time, and we also have the phone-in feature also. So if you can't make it, you can phone in. Thank you.
You just said pretty much it. And if you see me out and about in public, I'm more than happy to usually talk about whatever. Public speaking is not exactly how I'm good at this, so.
You know, I think my favorite politician is Ronald Reagan, the great communicator. And it's 2021, and there's a plethora of ways for us to communicate to each other. You know where we are at Yokes. We're walking around. We have coffee. It's not hard to reach any one of us. And Facebook, social media. Social media. If you don't have that, like I said, you know where to find us.
Well, personally, I am a musician. Like I said before, I am at Master's Brewery every Wednesday that I'm not at the city council meetings. So that would not be this Wednesday, but it will definitely be the following Wednesday, and it would be the 5th Wednesday if we have one. I'm also at Tricks, which is on Highway 2, doing their open mic, because I'm there playing guitar and singing on the open mic. I sing 3 songs, and then I'm not singing for a long time. So if you'd like to come and talk to me at any time, please do so. I would also like to start going maybe to picket fence on a Tuesday, or whatever morning works out for just not the entire council, but one of us or something, some place where people know where we're going to be, and that they can show up if they do have any questions. I am actually at Masters anyway because I'm playing. The other thing, of course, is telecommunications, technology. It would be great if we had a little bit better of that kind of ability to contact anybody.
So communication is a big issue, part of why I'm running again. There are a lot of different ways that we communicate nowadays, and I think the council should be communicating in the same way that everybody communicates, whether it be email or text messages or phone calls. Because of the Open Meeting Act in Washington State, there are some limitations. We can't use our own private emails or phone numbers or text messaging. That gets us into some trouble if we do that. So that needs to be provided by the city, and that is something that we have talked about again and again in City Council, and that's something I'm going to continue bringing up. So that's something that I think we need to have access. We're one of the few places. The school board has email accounts. The fire district, just about every place has email accounts where you can email your elected representatives, not Deer Park. We also need to have video conferencing for our city council meetings. All through the pandemic, again, the fire district, the school board, the airport, just about everywhere was adopting video conferencing, but not Deer Park. The costs are relatively low. It's something that we can do. And when we use video conferencing, it doesn't preclude anybody who just has a telephone. They can still call in to the video conferencing system. They can still listen, but there's a lot better tools that are available for us to use.
All right, thank you.
I got my first email address in 1994. Our current city council has no email. They have no email. And with all due respect, bumping into your council member, hoping to bump into them at Yokes is not a solution. It's just not. Hoping to try and find them around town is not a solution. You can call, and in our experience they have called back, but it's just not a solution. Email is just a no-brainer solution for how we communicate with our representatives. I agree. We need to live stream the city council meetings. It's just not hard. I've got all the technology we need to live stream right here. Most of you have it in your pocket too. We can do this. These are simple solutions. I think we should implement a service called Text My Gov, where if you see a pothole in the street, you can take a picture, text it to the government, and that system will automatically send it to Brad or whoever needs to fix it. If there's a safety issue in the city, it will automatically broadcast all to your phone, that sort of thing. We need to implement technology to communicate. It's how we communicate now.
Thank you. And I think we've got time for one more question. Oh, no, you're, okay. So Tim's got a hard out, and it doesn't seem real fair to ask stuff when he's not here. So in that case, we're going to bring things to a close here today. Can I get a round of applause for all of our candidates?